Welcome viewers. In this video I'm going to be talking about setting up a Revit MEP 2015 project for the first time. First thing we want to make sure is that we're using the correct template. On your opening screen you should have the MEP 2015 template available to you. If not, then drop me an email. If we click on that and let that open, and what we want to do is open up a blank view, and what you'll notice in the MEP template is that there are already set up a number of presentation views, working views and coordination views. I'm going to choose a working view, level 1 HVAC. Now on the ribbon select insert and link Revit. Now I'm using the sample projects bundled with 2015. We select the architectural model and we choose down here origin to origin. In 2015 it seems to remember what you chose last time, which is quite handy. So we click open. If we double click the middle mouse button, you zoom out and see the project. Now I'm just going to show you a little bit about the coordinates. Normally you can't actually see the coordinates, even though this project has come in at origin to origin like you've selected. There's nothing really to tell you that that's happened. The way to see the project base points is to select this little button here, reveal hidden elements, and that will show these two little, a circle and a triangle. If you press the tab key you can select the triangle. The triangle is the survey point and the circle is the project base point, and you'll see that that is all set to 0 at this stage. If the architects have set up a real world position for their project, you can acquire those through the link. If we go to manage coordinates, acquire coordinates, select the architectural model, and if we reselect that, you'll see that those values have changed and the rotation has changed as well. So once that's done, select the architectural model and pin it, and that stops you accidentally moving that architectural model. Also, while we have it selected, we go over to the properties, edit type, and under room bounding make sure that's ticked, and that enables us to pick up the spaces from the rooms in the architectural model, which enables us to do some scheduling and heating cooling loads if required. There's also a couple other tools down here which help with accidentally selecting the architectural model. The first one is select links. If you click that, so there's a red X, that means I can't actually select that architectural model now. And there's a similar one for pinned elements, which works the same way. So the next step would be to draw a section through the project. Just cuts through the middle, doesn't matter where. Zoom in and double click on the blue arrowhead. So we've now got a section through the project. If we untick cropped view, it will reveal a number of levels within the MEP template. Having these 10 levels preset in the template has enabled us to create all these views based on disciplines and views. Traditionally you would start with a template which may have 1 or 2 levels, and you would copy monitor the levels from the architectural model and then from there you would build up your views based on those levels and duplicate them and assign them to different disciplines, and that could take some time to get your project set up. So we've decided to create these default 10 levels and all these preset views. So what we can do is bring these level heads in nice and close so we can align them. So on the Modify tab we've got the Align tool, and select the level in the architectural model and then the level in the MEP model. Now because we're using shared coordinates, unfortunately you can't constrain those levels together. Not entirely sure why, but hopefully that'll change in the future. So we just go through and align these levels. This one, move it up a little bit and then realign just to make sure they are in the same place. I'm going to leave this basement one there because I know in the structural model there's a sub-level. The remaining levels you can just select them and delete, and what you'll see here is an error, a warning message to say that all these other views will be deleted because they're assigned to those levels that you're deleting. That's fine. And what you'll notice in your list here is you've got a reduced list. Optionally you can rename the MEP levels to match the architectural levels, and when I do that I use BIM link to export the level names out, match them all to the architectural ones, then bring them in, and that just tidies up some of these level names to the architectural ones. But that's an optional step. So now I'm just going to bring in the structural model, origin to origin, and that's aligned. We can select that, RST, and pin it as well. If we go back into the section view, there's this other level that's from the structural model. So I can now align that basement. We may not need it, but no. Seeing as I've pinned it, I don't think I can. Oops. So we can now delete that section as we don't need it. From there we want to tidy up some of these grids. Now we can see that we've got two sets, and if we go to manage links, select the structural model. Now this depends on whether the structural and architectural models are central models. If they are, we can manage work sets through here and we can close that. So we now won't see the structural grids. The architectural model we actually want to copy monitor. So from collaborate, copy monitor, select link, select the architectural link, and we want to go copy, multiple, just draw a big box around there, make sure you've got all the grids, select the filter box, check just grids, and then we click finish once. and wait for it to copy those grids into our model. The main reason why bring the grids into the MEP model is it gives us control over how those grids are displayed. When it's just the architectural grids coming through, we can't actually change the length of them, and sometimes they spill out over the page. So we click on copy monitor again and click finish. Now if we go back to manage links and select the architectural model, go back to manage work sets, close that one. Now we've only got the grids that are actually in the MEP model. And what I do with those is I just reselect them again and pin them. Again, that just means I can't accidentally drag them around. Another good idea is to set up a scope box, and that's on the View tab, and we've got scope box here. And what you can do with scope box is create a rectangle around the building, and we can give that a name. So building outline. We can also create another one. That may be just around this north wing. And what that enables us to do in the view, we can come down here to scope box and we can choose what we want to see. So building outline, that'll crop that just to that outline, and we don't get any of the landscaping, or we can just crop it down to the north wing. And that makes it nice and consistent if you've got a lot of views that are just showing the same area. Instead of creating crop regions for each view, you know that if you select these scope boxes, then they're going to be the same on each view. We can then go and enter some of the project information if we have it to hand. The client name, client address, the project number and name, and that will filter through into our template for our title sheets, things like that. If we go back to our project browser, we'll see that we may have some disciplines that we're not going to use on this project. If we open up the schedules, and down here there's a schedule preset up that says view removal schedule by discipline. If we open that up, we'll see that we've got all the disciplines here, and if we know that we're not going to be doing any low temperature hot water, we can just right click and delete, and we'll now see that from our list that is being deleted. So you can continue to delete what you don't need from this project, just to streamline the project browser, the number of views, etc. So the project's almost ready to go. If this project was not going to be a central model, we can just do a save as project in the MEP folder, and we can name it 2015. I believe the naming protocols may be being looked at, so I'm not going to dwell on what everything should be called at this stage. So if that's just going to be a local project to work on, then that is good to go, and you can start modelling your MEP elements. If this needs to be a central model, the next step is to turn worksets on, which is down here, and you just click OK. That will enable worksets. And for those that don't know, creating a central model and using worksets enables more than one person to work on the project at one time, and you can assign different worksets to different people to remove any conflicts. So you may have somebody working on the electrical and somebody working on the mechanical. Automatically it sets up these two worksets, which is fine, and you can go in and create some new ones, and we can start with a mechanical workset, and I'm just going to put my name beside that. So if there are multiple people working on mechanical, you would add them as well. If there's a small group of people, you may just want to call it a mechanical workset, electrical workset, etc. But once you've got your workset set up, you click OK. And now we want to save this as a central file. So we go Save As again, project. We can put it in the same place, but we want to make sure that we've got central in there somewhere, so that people know that that's a central model. If we click on options, we'll just check that make this a central model after save is ticked, and we can reduce the number of backups down to, say, 5. And then we can click save. Once that's finished saving, that central model is ready for the users to create their own local copies, and there are a number of ways you can do that. The model manager may open the central model like we have open here, and just go Save As again, project, and then in a different location, I'll just go up one level so it's not in the same folder. Put local in there, and just to check that this is unticked, so it's not going to be a new central model. This is a local copy of that original central. And once you'll notice when this is finished saved is that both these icons here will be available. When you're working in the central model, you only have the synchronize button available. When you're working in a local, you have the save local button and central. And just as a check to make sure that this local file is actually looking at the right central, you can just look at the path in the top there, and so that's picking up that central model that we created earlier. That's fine. So that local file is ready to go. You just want to make sure that you're on your assigned workset, and that you synchronize to central every now and again. So that's the end of this first video on setting up an MEP model. Thank you.